This video is intended to show Merced faculty and staff how to access the eLumen website in order to do their program reviews for 2018-19 school year. And hopefully you will learn a little bit about this process and what needs to be done. And if you have any questions, you can email the Program Review Coordinator for instruction for faculty, and also there are coordinators for staff to be able to contact to try and answer some of their questions. So the first question is, how do we get there? You can go to the Merced College website and click on Faculty and Staff here. And if you look down here on the left side, you can see there's eLumen, Search Course and Program Outlines. And so when we come here, we'll take a look over here on my faculty site, and I'm going to be restricted to looking at the biology program review in this, so there will be some differences for other people that are out there, but this video is going to focus on the instructional program review process. And so if we look, you can see a variety of different classes that have been taught, and you can select your semester for those and go in for your course assessments over here. All right, within eLumen, the Strategic Planning tab is the one that we want to take a look at in order to get access to our program reviews. So we'll click on Strategic Planning over here, and you can see down here that the Biology Instruction Program Review for 2018-19 template is ready to go. And if you wanted to, you could see the whole cycle for the campus here under this little tab right there. But because I am in the biology cohort right here, it's just going to allow me to view the biology program review document. And when you look at this first screen, what you can see is you can actually download this report and save it as a PDF and print it out as you need. And so we're going to take a look here at some of these different things that are available within our program review document. All right, I made it a little bit bigger so we can see some more of this stuff. And basically the program review template that has been set up is divided up into a couple of different sections. And you can review the PDF that is on the Merced College website in order to download that and get some more of these instructions here that we want to see. But we'll go ahead and just take a look through here and see. Now, one thing that you can see here is there's a couple of weird little silhouettes on the side. The outer one in gray, this is for the reviewers, and it lets you know who actually the reviewers are. And so you can see there's a couple of cats and some deans included on here for the collaborator section right there. The silhouette within the blue area right here, this tells you all the people that can collaborate and write something within these sections or fill out the boxes in this program review document. Anybody can make changes, but notice it will save these different versions that are out there. So the system will keep a record of any changes and also hopefully save the previous documents. So if something goes wrong, you will have a backup that you can access here. All right, so we look at the beginning right here. And what we're seeing is basically the section that is involved in a summary, really, of what's going on your template here. There are a couple of features that are built within the system here that I do want to go over. Up here you can see there's this section, and this shows you the different sections that are available within the template here. And if you click on any one of these, it will take you to that section within the document. So it's a nice way of navigating. And this little menu right here will actually float, and so you should see it on the top of your screen and be able to jump back and forth between these different sections right there. You can see this section has not been reviewed, and again, so you can see the reviewers are within that gray bar right there. Let's take a look down here. You can see there's no versions, and again we have that silhouette. And now we take a look at this document right here. The first part of this is really to take a look at your program and discuss how your program is able to serve the mission of Merced College. And so we've included the mission of Merced College here on the document right there. And then you're just going to go in and fill out this little box right here. And this is a pretty standard kind of template that we see on Canvas these days. So you can change your text if you want to. You can put in numbers or bullets, and you can see also these will tell you what the little buttons are doing within the window right here. So describe your purpose of your program and how it aligns with Merced College's mission. Take a look at your program outcomes, which we will be able to see later on in this video, and see whether or not what knowledge, skills, and abilities your students are picking up from your program, and when they get their degree or certificate, do those match the standards that are out there in the discipline or the profession? And then this last section is what I call the bragging section. Let us know if you've had some really good achievements, and this could be student related. This could be faculty and how they've been able to increase their student success, and also staff can participate in this. So this is really the section where you can brag about what you've been able to do. You can see down here we can cancel our changes if we want to. We can save a draft. It's not going to save it because I haven't entered anything. So there you can see now that button is in solid print, so we can do that if we want to, or cancel the changes right there. And then the last button, this is what you do to basically lock down that section. So when you've said everything you want to and everybody agrees that you filled out that portion as far as you need to, then go ahead and click on publish, and like I said, that'll lock down that section for you. We go down to the second section. This is our dialogue section. So we're asking you to discuss how the members of your department were actually able to participate in this program review process. And so you can see there's a list of a variety of different things that you can use in this section. And another thing I wanted to point out is if you're feeling like you're constrained on space, you can actually click on this little section and your instructions go away, and it gives you just a little extra space on your screen. Click on it again and it'll go away. So again, remember, cancel changes, but always whenever you're going in between these things, click on this save draft and it'll save the whole document, so you don't have to worry about clicking on a save in another screen. It's actually built in right next to the fields that you're working on right there. All right, we come into the next major section, and again, if we go up to the top, we can see our floating menu. So we've got our program summary done, and now we go through and take a look at our assessment summary. And you can see there's two sections here that are basically duplicating some of the information. So when we look at this, the reason that I place this in here is not everybody has done a course assessment within eLumen. And so if you don't have course assessments in eLumen, this first thing isn't going to be able to generate your data, because this section is basically taking the assessment results from all of your course outcomes that are out there, and if you've done the curriculum mapping, you've linked your course outcome to your program outcome. And so when we click on this little button right here, you can see it pulls up a couple of different things right here. So we could select our biology degree right there and then generate this table with the data using assessments that have been done in the past. And this one is coming out 0 because these program outcomes have not been mapped to the courses yet. So if we were able to map these and people had done some assessments and entered all that information into eLumen, then we would see a summary. The courses that are looking at this first program outcome, analyze the natural world using the scientific method. If you did an assessment of this course SLO, now we'll take all of those course SLO results and roll them together, and we can look at the program as a whole and use this to evaluate whether or not the students that are getting a biology degree are able to do this process. Do they come out of your courses with the ability to analyze the natural world using the scientific method? And if they do, we would see their performance, and we can use this as an indicator to see how well the students are doing and how successful they are at achieving the outcomes. Because remember, outcomes for our program is what we have determined. These are the knowledge, skills, and abilities that our students will pick up as a result of the coursework or field trips or doing outside projects. Anything like that can lead to student success. All right, so if you go through this section and you've done that, then you would want to click on that save draft, and once you've finished with all this, you can publish it. This little box up here is where you can do a little commentary on the data that has been generated down here. If you do not have any assessments that have been entered into eLumen, then there is a separate section down here that can be used to talk about what's going on with the assessment of your program learning outcomes. So briefly describe, with an extra E added there, how your assessments are being done for your program outcomes, summarize that data and the results that you have for each learning outcome, so what was in the table above, and you can see eLumen is going to make this process a little bit easier for us. And we look down here, do an analysis and the interpretation of the results for each of your program learning outcomes or service area outcomes, if you're not necessarily looking at instructional outcomes that are out there. And so all of these things are really going to be simplified because of that previous section up here. eLumen is going to summarize all of those results for us, so we can basically just go in here and make comments about our program outcome. So really nice process, and you can see why we're looking for that. And here you can see on that floating menu there are some things that have been changed, and so it keeps a record and lets you know, have I actually completed all of these sections. We'll go down to the third section here, and now we're looking at some trends within the program that are out there. And you can pull up your data set for your program right here, and I'll open this up in a different window so we can just take a look where that link takes you. And so this takes us to the Office of Institutional Effectiveness, and we can see we've got all of these instructional program review data sets from every single year. And remember, these are summaries of 5 years worth of data, so they are divided up by the different areas, and you should be able to access this from within eLumen there. So nice thing to be able to do. All right, so let's take a look back at these instructional demographics that are available will allow us to look at some different features of the students that are coming through the program. So we're asking people to look at trends, and these boxes are set up to match the different tabs that are in those data sets provided by the Office of Institutional Effectiveness. So we look at success and retention there, the number of degrees, and we go down and we can look at a variety of different staffing demographics. We can look at what's going on with your classes. So all this data is available as it's been available in the previous years, and we've got pretty similar kinds of sections to what we've done in the past when we look at our student demographics out there. Again, click on your Save Draft, and when you're completed with this, go ahead and click on your Publish button there. The last section that we want to take a look at here is impacts that have occurred within your program. So think about if there's things out there that have had an impact on your goals or your effectiveness. So this could be things like a neighboring school is offering a program, and you've noticed that you're suffering from some attrition. Just think about these kinds of things that are out there that are having an effect, and see if there's any way that we can address these with regard to student success. We have this section. If you need anything in the Learning Resource Center, this is where you can summarize different kinds of books or access to databases that you would like to increase your student success. And then we have this similar question to last time: is there anything else that you'd like to be considered in this document here? All right, the very last section here, we're going to take a look at what's known as our planning summary. And here we can take a look at our goals that are out there. And remember, these goals should have some steps built into them and a timeline so that we can sort of track and remind ourselves every semester to go back and take a look and see what kind of progress we're making on these goals. So this is a pretty simple table to fill out. Put down your goal, and this can be general or specific as you want it here, but we want something that is actually measurable. So come up with a series of steps to be able to say, here's the progress that we've been making on this process. We've done X, Y, and Z, and here's our timeline, and we can come in later and provide an update for this process here to really take a look at how much progress we're making towards those goals. This last section right here is our resource allocation information. So similar kind of format to what we've done in the past, with a variety of different columns in this table here. And there's a summary of these different kinds of columns and what we would like to see in terms of the information that's included. And again, you can shrink your instructions there if you want to or not. The very last section is our feedback and approval section, and this is where your CATs and deans can make comments about the program review document. And you can see there's a couple of different things. So if you want to, when you're finished with this process, go back and look at your own work and see whether or not it matches up some of these things right here. And when they are done, they will be able to click on review, and you'll be able to find out that this process is actually working. And similar kind of thing for the deans here. This has been done separately by the deans, and they were never really attached to the document. So hopefully this process is going to work out, and there's not going to be too many problems. And again, you can email Edward Modafferi at mccd.edu.